everyone, Whitney Jones here with MPC News Online, and I am joined by IFBB Pro League Judge Sandy Williamson, and we're here to talk about some of the common fitness misconceptions. We've had some changes in the MPC fitness division as of last year, so let's discuss the changes that were made last November so we can catch you up if you weren't aware of those changes, and then we can go from there.
Okay, yes. Last year at our National Congress, which was in Miami in November, that's where we kind of discussed like how the year went in the different divisions. Do we need to make changes anywhere? Do we, you know what I mean? And so it just seemed like our fitness, a lot of our fitness shows did not have a lot of, we could see that the numbers were falling.
Sure.
And so we talked about like what can we do to actually revive the fitness, you know what I mean, to get the numbers back, to get the numbers back to the show. So we talked about different things. And we had talked about over the last couple of years about maybe getting rid of the, or eliminating the physique round, because it seemed like when you talk to athletes that like to perform or like the fitness division, that was always like the drawback.
Yeah, the intimidating
yes,
factor.
They get intimidated by that, about doing the physique round, especially at the level that our fitness competitors, their physiques are. You know what I mean? Sometimes as judges, we get very, you get complacent and you don't realize how much above the norm that our athletes are from a physique standpoint. So we talked about it and we thought, okay, you know what? Nothing else that we're kind of doing is working. So let's try it. Let's just put the physique round on the side for a year or two, and see if we can drum up interest in fitness from people from different endeavors.
Sure.
Whether because I always bring back I always watch America's Got Talent and stuff, and I see such amazing different types of routines.
Yeah.
So that those types of things are out there. We just need to try to get them to our stage.
Sure,
so
the talent is there.
Yes, absolutely. And so that's how that came about. So we thought we'll try it for, give it 2 or 3 years, see if we can, if those numbers, will increase, if the interest is out there.
Sure, and that's the good thing. So obviously it's still, I feel like people are still kind of getting used to it.
Yes.
It's been 1 year, so we've run through all the shows at the national level that have had fitness. There are still some at the local regional level that have fitness categories, so not everyone's done competing, but if you're looking to get your pro card and kind of amplify to the next level, national shows don't start for fitness until next May with Junior USA. So now's the time to really fine-tune skills, get excited about joining the fitness division.
And to start to get yourself ready for the 2019 season.
Because it comes fast.
Yeah, unfortunately it doesn't. The older you get, the faster it comes. But it does. I mean, because like you said, it's going to take, it's not something you're going to, it's not like, not a 12-week prep like it is for a lot of the, the physique, different physique divisions. Fitness is really a different division. From
which is what we like.
Yes.
That's why it's popular and we love it.
Oh, and it's entertainment. I mean, especially actually, if you talk to general audience, I mean, that's one of the things they'll say to you. I heard it at the Legions that I was just at, last week or 2 weeks ago, because they had 17 fitness competitors, and I could hear people in the audience when we were leaving commenting about, oh my God, the routines were so, wasn't that great watching that? Or,
awesome.
And talking about different, some of the different routines that they saw, which ones they liked and typed up. So that's an audience, pleaser.
For sure. And we don't want fitness to go away. We want more people to join. And I can personally say, like, the interest has been tremendous. There is still some misconceptions, and people, I feel like, are a little afraid to take that jump into actually trying it. So the whole point of us even talking right now is to try to banish some of these myths and misconceptions, and one of those being that fitness is not for everyone, because there's nothing further from the truth. If you have a passion to perform, if you like being on stage, if you have any background in any genre of performing, it's for you. We see, I personally have had a lot of clients reach out, and their background is insane, and it's really exciting to see all the different styles of dance and performing that are coming out. I mean, we have rhythmic gymnasts, anything from b-boy breakdancing, gymnastics obviously is something that people think is necessary, but it's not.
No, it's absolutely not.
Yeah, not by any means. But then even things like jump rope. We have people who are like competitive jump ropers, baton twirlers, yoga instructors whose strength and flexibility
is crazy.
It's insane. So we have all these people with all this talent, and the problem is they'll maybe see, now we have YouTube, which is great because there's a great resource, but they're comparing their own skills and they feel inadequate.
Yes. Well, and I think too, they think that their routine has to look like that.
Right.
Like I have to have this type of movement, or I have to include this type of movement, and that was the whole point of getting rid of the physique round, was to try to bring athletes from different endeavors.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Performance endeavors, to bring those type of skills to the stage.
For sure.
Okay, and
Yes.
I mean, obviously we do have the required moves, but there's only 4 of them. And you and I've talked, and you said it's very easy to incorporate them into different, you know what I mean, into the different performance endeavors, and still be able to include them in their routine, but then make the other routine, look so totally different from what we're used to seeing. And I am going to bring up, because you and I talked, I mean, you've had some injuries this year.
Yes.
And, well,
Yeah,
yes, a
unfortunately.
few. But the thing is, I think that's one of the reasons, like you and I have talked, I think that's one of the reasons, I think it's a big reason of why you ended up winning the Arnolds, was because your routine was such a high energy routine, but you had to modify it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Coming off, your surgery a year ago. And I think that the judges, it just like was something that we had not seen. And like I said, obviously it had high energy, it had strength, but it had different type of strength moves, different type of flexibility moves that we had never seen before. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's what we're looking for in fitness. We're looking for the different.
Yes.
We're looking for something that's entertainment, obviously that demonstrates strength and flexibility and cardiovascular, because sometimes people will come out with dance like, more of a ballet or slower type.
Sure.
And Oksana was like that when she first started. I mean, she had amazing, strength moves, obviously an awesome performer, but there was that cardio portion was missing. The tempo was there. And it took her a couple of years to get that up, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because we're still looking for those 3. We're still looking for the flexibility, we're still looking for the strength, but we don't care how you achieve that.
Right, yes.
That's the thing I think people don't understand.
And so this is a great point. So there are mandatories. So I think it's important to repeat this multiple times, because the mandatories, I look at as the mandatories as a foundation. There's 4 of them. So it's push-up, any type of push-up.
Yeah, it doesn't have to, it used to, originally was a 1 arm.
Yes.
So I think some people think, I will talk to athletes and they think it's a 1 arm, but it's not. It's a push-up of any style. And again, it doesn't have to be a traditional push-up.
Right.
We're now, we're seeing athletes, doing different variations of a push-up, which is fine. And it's the straddle hold.
Yep.
Same thing. You just need to work it somewhere in your routine.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be just that movement by itself.
Right.
You know what I mean? And again,
For
I think
sure.
athletes think that it has to be a split somewhere in the routine and a high kick.
Yes.
That's the only 4 mandatory requirements that
And
we're
there's
asking.
modifications to
Yes.
all of them. All
Yes.
of them. So it just has to be displayed in the routine at some point. And then the best part is, the rest is up to your creativity. There's no wrong way to do a fitness routine.
No.
So don't abandon. Again, like I said, I get these videos from girls and they say, I'd love to do fitness. They send me this video of, these are my current skills, almost like it's not impressive. And I'm completely floored and wowed. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Then they send me new videos 3-4 weeks later. They've completely abandoned that. And they're trying to do what they think they need to conform.
Well,
And it's the standard.
I call it like the traditional.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
And it's like, no. And like I said, I actually, it wasn't by choice, but I always bring up your routine at Arnold's, your routine at the Olympia, saying, no, look at, this was a routine that was so different from your routine like last year or 2 years ago. And again, a lot of it was modification because of injuries and stuff, and rehabbing from injuries, but it was an amazing routine. It was but it was. I mean, the energy, the strength, but like I said, you had to modify it a little bit. But we're not saying that it has to have that traditional look.
Right.
That's actually what we're trying to say, get away from that traditional look. We are looking for something new and exciting, something to energize, new people and want them, get them to want to come into the fitness division.
And I think that's important, because use these traditional skills as your foundation to start, and then be creative with that. Use it as your inspiration, but don't abandon your current skill set. Like I said, there's so many different people from all aspects of performing that we want to see. You want to stand out. So if you're bringing to the stage what everyone else is doing, everyone else is doing the same skills, you're not going to stand out. That's plain and simple.
No, absolutely. And that's no matter what you're doing. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, the same thing in any of our physique rounds. It's always the physique that looks different, looks a little, you know what I mean, more impressive than, it's that you want your routine to stand out and look so different that you catch the judge's eye.
Yeah, they can't forget about
Yeah,
you.
no, absolutely.
Yes.
I always tell athletes, I always tell fitness competitors, you've got the 2 minutes. the first thing you want to do is, and we've talked about this a little bit before, it's like, okay, about the props and about the whole outfit and stuff. And it's like, some girls will come out and it's like a lot, they're slow, and it's like, okay, we've seen, like the Arnolds and the Olympia where you have maybe 15, 20 fitness routines, and it's like, okay, you got 2 minutes. You need to wow. You need to wake up the judges and go, you need to watch. I'm amazing.
Yes.
So start with something that's going to wow me, not something that's going to be slow and you're going to get into it. Because if it takes 15, 20 seconds to get into, and I do a lot of critiques now, and that's the one nice thing with YouTube, because I can go back and rewatch and say, okay, why didn't I like this routine, or why did I like this routine?
Right.
And so I can go back and look at it, and I'll actually say to the girl, whoever I'm emailing, I'll say back, like, okay, it was 22 seconds into your routine before you did any kind of strength, any kind of a wow. It was, you kind of did a little bit of dance, you kind of and you had a big outfit when you came on, and you took off the cape, or whatever it is, you know what I mean? But you lost, for 20 seconds, by that time, you've lost the judge's interest. You know what I mean?
You have to give them a reason to watch and stay captivated.
Yes, so it's that initial wow me when wow the judges when you first come out, and then don't forget the same thing when you're going off at the end, leave us with something like going, that was just an amazing performance.
Yes. You have to leave that impression in your head, so that they
first,
can remember who you are.
The first and the last. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so that brings up a good point too. So key things from a judge's perspective that you have repeated and is so super important. Music.
Yes.
High energy, or at least has a performance element.
Yes.
We've seen some lyrical performances. Lyrical, more like, if you don't know what that is, it's more ballet and kind of serious. But they are performing it, and so it's captivating. So it doesn't have to always be high energy, but there needs to be a purpose behind your music.
Yes, yes, and you also have to remember, most of the time when the fitness routines go on, it's always in the finals, because we know right now in the pros we do we still do the body round in the morning, and in the amateurs they don't have to perform till the evening. So people have been there all day long, you know what I mean? It's been...
If they're bored, it's your responsibility to make them excited.
Yeah, it's an 8-10 hour day, so you want to use some type of music, and I mean, lots of times, and even in some of our other divisions where they do a routine to music, I always say, I know sometimes maybe the music has a meaning to you.
Right.
But it doesn't to the audience.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It doesn't translate.
No, and you want to get the audience. Well, we all watched the gymnasts at the Olympics, and somebody comes out with music that can get the audience, and they're clapping and they're stop. You know what I mean? That's the same type of thing that you want to do here. You want to get the audience engaged into your music, into your performance. You know what I mean?
And as an athlete on stage, when you have that audience reciprocating the energy, you get excited and it helps you perform
I was going to say that's got to be like the best when you can get the audience and you know that they're into your, you know what I mean? Yes. Yes.
So music, super important.
Yep.
We've talked about costume and props. A lot of girls put way too much emphasis on coming up with a theme, with a crazy costume, and then they try to match music. It's not flowing. So I personally have always tried myself, as well as with my athletes, the costume is the last thing. You let that come out as a result of the entire fitness performance that you put together, because they need to be watching you and your skills and your facials and your energy, and not be distracted or focused at all on your costume. That's complimentary. Is that, what is your feedback on
Absolutely.
that?
I say that all the time. And that's why lots of times, some promoters in the beginning didn't even want props. They didn't want, the distractions on stage. And again, it just leaves another liability for somebody tripping over something or knocking, type thing. But again, lots of times, you only, as a fitness competitor, you only have that two minutes, okay? And you know darn well with where your, anxiety level is. I don't care how, because again, even though you're at the top, the shows, the competition that you're doing, though, are a lot more important too.
Yes, for sure.
You know what I mean? So it's that same level of anxiety, whether you're just starting out and you're not used to being out in a crowd, or you're doing the Arnolds. You know what I mean? You're still, and if something's going to go wrong, you want the least amount of things on stage that can lend to that. And I've seen, girls, they've had the rip away, pants and stuff, and they don't rip away. You know what I mean? And again, so as a competitor, and your routine is so timed to the music, for most competitors, if something happens to break that stride, it's going to throw you off. I mean, again, I've seen I've not realized it, but I've had competitors say to me, some of the top competitors say to me afterwards, "Oh my God, I totally missed a part. We never saw it." You know what I mean?
Which is good.
Which absolutely. But that doesn't happen with most.
Right.
Most competitors, once something happens to get them off their stride and get them off the movements with the music, you can see it.
Sure.
And it's such a shame because it was something that you didn't really need
Yeah,
in
it
the
wasn't
routine.
even important.
No, no. So I always tell people, you want a nice costume, obviously,
Sure.
but limit like things that you're going to take off or, again, sometimes like a chair or that kind of thing because, instead it brings a wow factor because now
Sure.
you're doing the movement much higher.
Right.
But judges do know it's actually a lot easier to do some of those movements
yes.
and we know that from a judging. It's nice but it's good from a wow factor.
Right.
But I always say those are the kind of things that you really want to limit.
Right.
Judges we just like to see a really good floor performance. So you don't need all that extra, especially like I said, if it has the chance to
go wrong.
Yes.
One, especially even more so for NPC competitors, if you're a first timer
Well, that's
or you're
it.
just not comfortable, don't risk it.
No, absolutely. I always tell girls, don't risk taking things off or adding things.
Right.
Especially, like I said, when you're first starting out, and that that type of thing could really just totally throw off all your rhythm, and you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
Yes. And 3 months, 6 months is a lot of time to put.
Yeah.
No, you know what I mean.
Yes.
Getting ready for one show.
Oh, yeah.
No, absolutely. Yes.
And then I think also one of the last misconceptions that is huge is I think people forget you've got to start somewhere. And I can speak from personal experience. I love that idea of fitness. When I first got started, I don't know if you even know this, I'd never even seen a fitness routine. And back then, there wasn't a ton of information on YouTube. There weren't the resources like
that there is
NPC
now.
News
Yes.
Online. I mean,
Yes.
that is a huge resource. So for everyone out there, npcnewsonline.com, that's always reference that. But don't think you need to start up here. I need to post my first fitness routine, which you were the head judge, and the feedback was hilarious because it was like, you got some work to do, and it was true. It was true.
Well, and it's the same thing. I mean, again, most people maybe don't, but a lot of people that have been in the sport for a while, obviously Adela Garcia. She was our fitness Olympia winner 8 times.
Years, yeah.
But she was also on the Olympia stage a lot of years before that too, and on the NPC stage a lot of years before that.
Yes.
Because hopefully Adela will not get upset with me, but I mean, Adela's hallmark was always her physique. It took her, I want to say, 4 or 5 years to get the routine that it was a top routine.
Right, sure.
You know what I mean? And
sure.
but I think some people just see her as always being at that top of the Olympia.
Right.
No, it takes time to get there, no matter who you are.
Right.
Like you said, even yourself, till you
yeah.
get that comfortable, but you got to start.
You've got to
You're
start.
never going to get there if you don't take that first step to begin with.
And I'll be honest, I've never had an NPC fitness athlete, and I've coached well over 70 NPC athletes now, and never has one person not loved it. They've all been hooked. Now, some have taken time off, had babies, careers, whatever, but they all are coming back.
But and that's another, I'm always big on that. Our sport will enhance your life. It cannot be your life. And that's what I tell all the time.
Yes.
We see, because I've been involved so long, I've seen athletes walk away because they're finishing school, or they're getting married, or they're having children, and then 2-3 years they come back. Sometimes it's 10 years,
Right.
Till they come back because now the children are a little bit older.
Yeah, for sure.
Exactly, and
Have
they're a little
time.
bit more settled in their
Yeah.
career, in their life, whatever. And that's what I always say. You know what I mean? Don't let this, take away from your, from your life. Always find that nice balance between the two. But you even with the non-fitness divisions, it's amazing. The first time athletes get on stage, it's, oh my God, it's so, it is. It's so addicting. It is. It really is.
And especially, I feel with our division, obviously I'm biased, but you have an outlet to be creative. There's no wrong way to do a fitness routine.
You can never do a fitness routine that's wrong. It might not have enough strength in it, or it might not have enough, or it might not be fast enough, but there's nothing about the routine itself that's wrong. I mean, the movements that are wrong. You might have to pick it up, and add a little bit more difficulty or whatever. But the guidelines are so vague. They're just like a little foundation.
For sure.
You get to do whatever you want with it.
And bring your own creativity.
Yes.
Know that you got to stand out. And trying to learn the skills. Even for me, hand balancing was not my strength. So I would look at all these different skills and it's like, oh, I want to do this handstand and then lower your body down into a straddle hold. I worked on it for years early on, and I couldn't get it. But then I still to this day, when I'm creating my own routines, I've learned so many of my skills from my fails. And I always tell my athletes, it's important to acknowledge what you want to try to do, but then allow yourself to be creative and realize your fails can open your eyes to something really exciting.
I was going to say, it actually can create a new movement
100%.
Instead of spending all this time trying to do something that maybe you can't at that point. Add that movement in that is just a little bit different, because like I said, there's no wrong movement.
Right. Yep.
There is no wrong.
Oh my, watch my videos. Sometimes you'll see, and I plan to post a lot of these because I think people think I started out here. I have no formal gymnastics training. I danced around the house when I was a kid, but I don't have formal dance training. So my background has been just, I like to perform. I like to be creative and come up with new stuff. But again, so handstand straddle down, I couldn't do it, but I could lower, and then I created a body roll and popped up, and all of a sudden that was a new move.
Yep.
Or handstand pirouette, which is a handstand and you do a circle. Couldn't get it, but I fell one time and almost landed in a split. Guess what? That was now a move. So learn from your fails.
Well, you know what, and you can see if you look over the years, okay, like different athletes, like, because like they'll come up with a new move, and even now when I'm, when I'm looking at like the hand cross with the push-ups, I put down an A and a G times 3, so that you did an Adela move 3 times, you switched. You know what I mean?
Right.
I have so many moves that came from different athletes that they were kind of noted for.
Yeah.
That you know what I mean? And so create those moves.
Yeah. Put your mark on your own move. Yes.
Yes.
It's very exciting. There's a lot of potential for anyone in this sport. We just want to encourage you to try it. And the resources are out there now more than ever, because we've really done a push. You reach out to any fitness pro, we're all trying to grow the division. We want to help you. We want to guide you, whether it's questions on routine skills, feedback on music, simple critiques, even more so, you still are wanting to be in shape on stage at the NPC level, and sometimes you need some guidance. But NPC News Online is a great resource. Any of the IFBB fitness pros, again, we're approachable. We're not scary. I promise we're friendly. We're all a big family.
Well, and I think out of all our divisions, because I talk sometimes about the teams. I think that's one of the things that has helped the growth of our sport is the teams, because now with social media, you don't have to live close to, everybody from it, and it gives that camaraderie.
Yeah.
Is what also generates, what I mean, that thing, I want to get on stage because, Mary Jane in another state is getting, you know what I mean? Or I'm going to go help support her at her show, because then she's going to come and, be backstage for me.
Right.
But I don't think any of the other divisions have the closeness as the fitness. And I think part of that's because you're the smaller of the divisions, but the camaraderie and the cohesiveness that you see at any fitness show that I go to is really, really amazing.
We celebrate each other's different styles, and it's exciting, and we're constantly trying to learn from each other. So we're part of a very big group that is big in our eyes, because we feel like it's continuing to grow too. But very, very close. And like I said, we're here to help all of you. We want you to try it. I guarantee when you do, you're going to be hooked. And it's just a matter of time before you're moving up, hitting the national stage, getting your pro card, and the pro stage, Arnold, Olympia. You never know.
Well, no, and now with the growth of the NPC worldwide, those opportunities, because we're going to see a lot more international. I think we're going to. Well, we always had international, but I think we're going to see. I think those numbers are going to increase, because I remember when I used to do a lot of the world championships, the fitness. Our athletes from the U.S. were always the smaller groups. The other countries always had had many more fitness competitors that they would bring with them. So I think you're going to see a lot of the international athletes. You're going to see a lot more of them into our fitness, into our fitness division.
So definitely think about it. Hopefully this helped answer some of the questions, concerns, misconceptions, because we are trying to really recruit as many people. Everyone has talents that maybe they just haven't really looked at themselves as talents. But again, there's no wrong way to do a fitness routine. You heard it yourself from Sandy.
But also, like you said, is if you're somebody that really likes to perform on stage, and lots of times you do that. You do certain things through high school, through grade school, through high school, and even into college. And then once that college
Yeah,
is
what do you
over
do
with.
then?
Exactly. And then, you know what I mean, whether it's cheerleading, skills, gymnastics, but you didn't go on to be like an Olympic athlete. This
Sure.
gives you an outlet for that drive to perform, to perform in front of people.
There is something for you to continue.
No,
Yes.
absolutely. And I think sometimes people are looking for that. They just don't know where where it is, that it's even
where
there.
to start.
Yes,
For
that
sure.
it's there. Yep.
So it is, and we're here. We want to welcome you to the MPC Ifbb family. So reach out to us. Just have that desire, make that move, and right now's the time to do it. Start practicing your skills, and then start for 2019 and give it a shot. So check out all the information that you can find year-round on MPC News online. I'm Whitney Jones, and of course, Sandy Williamson, IFBB Pro League head judge.